Hey everyone, it's Timmy Scott. I hope you guys are off to a good New Year start. If you are, I hope it is a good New Year already for you. For those who aren't, maybe you'll find this video beneficial. I don't know, just randomly throwing stuff out there. Speaking of which, as you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be basically about random advice stuff. And watch to the end if you so desire. It really does help when people watch to the end. I mean, when you watch to the end, it does count as a view, I guess. I mean, granted, I've watched YouTube for a long time, but I don't know. Anyway, so whatever you're doing, probably at home for most of you, if you are, anyway. Hope you're enjoying my videos so far. I got myself a Red Bull. That's my drug of choice. And I don't drink it as much as people like to think it's a bad thing. But whatever. That's totally a different thing. Anyway. So, I want to get into something about this that actually made me really reiterate my thinking. And I totally forgot about this. And because I'm actually going to get into this. So, I've thought about this. I used to hold my breath to a lot of things, expecting people to apologize for hurting me. Like, I guess because I misinterpreted it the wrong way, so I wound up becoming totally oblivious to the thought of hoping people would apologize to me. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen. People will never amount to hurting someone and wanting to apologize. Because the friend I live with now, so many people have hurt him, and yet he doesn't hold his breath to it. I took that advice a long time ago, and it did work. I did feel good about it, but like I said, I became completely oblivious to it and expected people that hurt me to apologize to me. And I know I'm never going to get one, but I don't have to hold my breath to it because they know where they stand and I know where I stand. So it kind of goes hand in hand. And it also, for my ex-Jehovah's Witness friends watching this, you know what this is like. It fed into guilt. It fed into pretty much feeling guilty toward about everything, really. It's not something that I had the intentions of, because I was, again, oblivious to it and wasn't really quite aware of just holding my breath to everything. I mean, like I said before, I'm not going to be able to permanently forget where I came from, because when you're born in it and raised, or even just raised as a young kid, and then you decide to leave eventually, a lot of that memory is going to stick with you. And it's not something like I said before, you can just permanently forget about it, because it doesn't work that way. If you were born into something in a culture of an environment that is pretty much all negative, and you eventually do decide to escape it, you really can't forget about it. I mean, you can leave it at bay, but you really can't just be able to be like, oh, I forgot. No, you can't expect that. But like I said, you can leave those feelings at bay. And that's something, like I said, where that whole, I forgot my own advice, and it led into being oblivious to feeling guilty. I mean, this stemmed with a lot of things, unfortunately. And it's not me that has the problems. It's the people that I was around. Maybe not so much, obviously, a drug-infested environment, but more so just the negativity of it in general. I was constantly around that. And even though I had a period, like I said, where I took my own advice, but it never, I guess, really, like I said, I pretty much became oblivious to it, and not something I wanted, but it's just, my mind tripped up again, and I became, again, oblivious to the advice, my own advice. And it fed into the feeling of guilt trips and all that stuff. Because, again, as a lot of us are good at knowing this, is the environment we were in makes us feel guilty. So, again, even after I had left, I used to hold my breath to a lot of things. Then I took my own advice not to hold my breath to things, and then tripped up again, and it, like I said, I don't know. To me, it's like, looking at it now, realizing, like, man, I should have stuck with my advice, but everyone makes mistakes. We're humans. I mean, granted, depending on the type of situation, some of us act more human than others, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. And another thing that that I really want to break into the new year, trying to diminish less, is saying I'm sorry to everything, but I can't help it. Or at least to a lot of things, anyway, is because I say I'm sorry is because it's a really bad habit I have. And a lot of you ex-Jehovah's Witnesses watching this know what it feels like to keep saying I'm sorry to things. I mean, even if you weren't born and raised a Jehovah's Witness, you could still say I'm sorry to a lot of things because of the type of environment you were brought up in. And again, like I said, I mean, you can leave those feelings, those negative feelings, at bay if you actually take your own advice, which I'm going to get into that in a second. But if you leave those negative feelings at bay, it does help a lot. And like I said, me and my friend I live with now were talking and said that people screwed him over a lot, and he doesn't expect people to apologize. And that's when I thought to myself, wow, I forgot about that advice I told myself. And it switched like a light. Like, I really need to keep aware of that whenever I feel that way. But again, I just got so caught up in the moment of that feeling that, I don't know, I just couldn't fathom the thought of letting certain things at least keep at bay. And I don't know, yeah, so the whole holding my breath to pretty much everything fed into guilt trips. I mean, not so much intentionally, because my friend I live with, like I said, knows how a lot of religious people are and how they treat their followers and ex-members. But anyway, it's not I had the intentions of making other people feel guilty. It's just the way I was brought up to feel that way, and to bring it on to others. It's not something I wanted, and I wasn't aware of it. But again, because of the way I was brought up, it's not something I was able to control or even be aware of it. So, I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I just want people to, and I know I'm not the only one that goes through this type of concept where you give other people advice, but you can't take your own advice. You can't follow through. I mean, I know I'm not the only one that goes through this feeling, though, where you give your advice to them, or they have their own advice. I guess if that really makes sense. I don't know. But if you made it this far to the end, what do you think? Are you in that kind of same situation where, or similar, or know people that way, where they tend to just hold their breath to a lot of things and aren't even aware of it? Like I said, it's just being guilty and feeling guilted and all that other stuff. It's not something I was able to be really honestly aware of. And even though I wasn't around a drug environment, having self-destructive friends don't really help either. So, and I guess that's where I kind of fell off the map, from just feeling guilty, and you get the idea, vice versa. So, it's not again, something I wanted to do, but I couldn't help it because of the type of environment I was in. So, and obviously being where I am now, I can actually go back to taking my own advice again. And like I said, it switched like a light to me last night that I need to try anyway. I mean, that's all you can do really, is try to take your own advice and follow through. Like I said, I know I'm not the only one where people don't take their own advice as much as they should, and aren't even aware when they give people. I guess it also stems with this, is when someone gives another person advice and don't follow through with their own, I guess they're not really aware of when they're giving they don't follow through with their own advice. And like I said, I had the concept of my own advice for a few years ago, and it did last for a good while, but then because of the type of environment I was in, like I said, it just broke off, I guess, and it didn't last. So, and I became completely oblivious to my own advice. And talking last night about it really helped me realize that, wow, I totally forgotten about my own advice. And that fed into, again, feeling guilty and being guilted and all that stuff. And it just didn't feel good about it. And I also want to get into this. Like I said, I think I mentioned it, but I'll say it anyway. And that's another habit I have, but I can't help it. So, at least for now, anyway, that it stemmed, like I said, it stemmed from the environment I was in. And I had no control of the type of environment I was in. So, just wanted to throw that out there. So, and like I said also again, I'm sorry, again, bad habit, I'm sorry, but, actually, I forgot where I was going with that. I can see it, but it's not really quite there. Anyway, like I said, just follow through with your own advice. And if you don't realize you're giving your own advice, that's pretty much probably the reason why you're not following through with your own advice, is you are oblivious, I guess, to it. And probably because of the type of environment you were in or are in, and giving other people advice, but you can't follow through with your own. You should be able to, but and I'm not, again, blaming you, but it's just something that people don't really tend to acknowledge, is when they give their advice, but they don't follow through with their own. And I don't know. That's all I got for now, for my random advice stuff vlogging. And if you made it this far to the end, leave a comment. I know some people like to watch to the end, so you're just as crazy as I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're just as much of a YouTuber as I am. I don't really know. Almost was gonna swear there because I almost forgot this is a family-friendly channel, and I have to be really careful with what I say. Especially, especially swearing, because this video would instantly get demonetized if my channel gets big. So, I don't know. Like I said, this is a random advice stuff, way to start in the new year. So, just randomly throwing stuff out there that I've wanted to talk about, but never crossed my mind. So, with that being said, hope you guys have a good new year. Start off with the new year. Maybe you guys are. If you got to the end, hit that red subscribe button. Takes 3 seconds every time. Like this video to your favorites. Turn that like button to blue for you. Turn on post notifications for me so you never miss a post. I know some of my friends, especially the ex-Jehovah's Witness ones, have it on. Leave a comment. Do you take your own advice? Do you follow through? I know I'm not the only one where people tell their advice but can't follow through with their own. I don't know. But like I said, for me, I happen to be oblivious because I've told myself that advice before, but it just, the type of being in a negative environment didn't really help the situation at all. So that's why I became completely oblivious and totally forgot about my own advice. Anyway, leave a comment about whatever you learned, and let me know your favorite part, I guess. Might say that in future videos. I don't know. Again, this is a random video channel, so if you like being random, this is the channel for you. Like I said, hope you guys are having a good New Year, and I will see you guys next time.